Joining us on TheInformer, our AFL correspondent, Alex Kayafa. Last week, we saw some very interesting football. 81 days between round one and round two. Some lopsided scores. I couldn't believe Richmond and Collingwood last week. What did you make of that?
2020 in a nutshell. Couldn't find a winner. Competitive, but just can't find a winner.
Speaking of couldn't find a winner, will the Bulldogs ever get back to playing the sort of football they can play?
I believe they will, but they just look a team shot of confidence at the moment after these first two games, and it's not going to get any easier.
And St Kilda, how good are they?
They were clinical, weren't they?
Are they the real deal?
They can be the real deal. We'll see how they're tested against the cream of the crop this week.
North Melbourne last week looked pretty impressive.
Oh, they were really, really good. Hard-nosed, just old-school shin boner football.
And Port Adelaide?
Their young guns look exciting and they look the real deal at the moment.
Well, against Adelaide, that's the biggest blowout in showdown history.
Yep.
And if you know your showdown history, that doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
So, amazing stuff. All right, let's talk this week.
Yep.
Your tips were up and down, a bit like the football. Let's see how we go. Now, tonight, it's at the MCG. It's Richmond. Needs to get rolling again. They are the champions. But they're playing the oldest team in the VFL, AFL history, apparently. Hawthorn.
Yep.
What's the word?
Hawthorn is set to field the oldest average team in AFL, VFL history tonight.
Will it make a difference?
I don't think so. Richmond will get it done. Despite Dusty missing tonight.
Yep.
Through injury.
Okay, so Dusty Martin not in.
Dusty Martin not in, but
O'Meara in for Hawthorn.
Yep, that's a huge in for the Hawks.
But not enough.
But I really do believe that Richmond have got enough depth.
Okay. The Giants are travelling from Sydney, playing at Marvel, up against the Bulldogs. Are they going to bully their way to and beat the Western Bulldogs?
I believe they will. The Bulldogs just look a team short of confidence at the moment, and GWS, after coming off a loss against North Melbourne in a game they feel they should have won, they're going to be looking for redemption. All
right, you touched on it. North Melbourne, they're up against Sydney Swans. Yep. That's the Saturday game. Again, Marvel Stadium. Yep. Score?
North Melbourne by 18 points.
Okay, that 3-goal cushion is what you favour more often than not. Okay, Collingwood, are they going to get back and recover after that draw against Richmond? Because they're playing a pretty potent side. St Kilda, again, the game being played at the G.
St Kilda look full of confidence at the moment, don't they? They were really impressive against the Bulldogs, but Collingwood are a different breed compared to the Bulldogs at the moment.
Brett Ratton, though, ex-Collingwood assistant coach, does he know a bit about what's going on across the
I feel like he would, and Ratton actually has a pretty decent record against the Pies, but this is a different Collingwood team now.
All right, so you're saying definitely Collingwood.
Yep.
Okay, Brisbane Lions taking on the West Coast Eagles at the Gabba.
Yep.
West Coast Eagles, of course, still can't work out how they got beat.
Yeah, they were super disappointing. I don't think many or any would have expected what transpired.
Maybe the West Australian Premier should have kept the borders closed. All right, let's have a look at the other game. By the way, before we go, you're sticking with the home side Brisbane Lions, or are you going with the West Coast Eagles to bounce back?
I'm going with the West Coast to bounce back. They have enough talent on that list.
I'll stick with Fagan's Lions, the home side. Okay, dare I mention GMHBA? It's the home that the Cats absolutely love. Yep. They play a style of football there that they don't reproduce that often whenever they go anywhere else. Yep. But they're playing Carlton, and Carlton needs to get off to a much, much better start if it's going to upset one of the biggest teams in the competition.
Yep. If the Blues come out how they did against Melbourne, against a team as clinical as Geelong down at GMHBA, it won't be just 7 goals, it'll be double-digit goals.
Oh, thanks for nothing. All right, let's go to the Sunday games. It's Gold Coast Suns, who shocked the world and won, up against the Adelaide Crows. This is being played at Metricon. So they're at home. Can the Suns, under Stewie Dew, ex-Hawthorn man, ex-Port Adelaide man, has he got them fired up and ready to play a style of football that's going to be pretty impressive?
I believe he has. He's built this team to win. They're young, but they're hungry, and they looked really good against West Coast.
So you've just written off the Crows again?
Yep, I have.
Sorry to the Adelaide supporters. Okay, and by the way, the Adelaide supporters still feeling miserable after being gazumped well and truly by Port Adelaide in the showdown. Essendon, Melbourne. This is the game at the MCG. Both sides,
it's very
pretty competitive.
50-50 contest. It's both teams match up really well around the ground, and funny enough, Melbourne have won 2 of the last 3 against the Bombers, so it's not just a walk-up Bombers win. I'm tipping Melbourne by 2 goals.
Wow.
I believe they're going to get.
So they match up against them pretty well.
Yep.
And let's talk about the last game of the round. Again, it's being played at Metricon, and it pits the Dockers, who have the capacity to play some really good football, but sometimes disappoint you, and the side that's red hot at the moment at Port Adelaide.
Any team that's got a Brownlow medalist like Nat Fyfe, you know they're going to be competitive, and they have been competitive, but Port Adelaide are on a roll at the moment. Their young guns are really exciting. And
so even away from home, I should say both sides are away from home, you're still thinking Port Adelaide?
Yep, Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide by 28 points.
Alex Kayafa, look forward to seeing how this round turns out.
Let's fingers crossed the football gods do me good this week. Thanks, George.
All right. By the way, if Carlton loses, he's not coming back next week. Oh, no, I'm just joking.